actually talk to you about this side of this side of um you, the kind of parent. It's been a while. The last thing I remembered
When
us.
was even the last time that we saw each other?
All right, the last time we saw each other was that gig we had at the rooftop. The first time I met Remy, and
Yeah, it was the first time you met Remy as well. I think it
yeah,
was La Musique,
I forgot.
my very last gig for Fête de la Musique, I think.
Yeah, yeah, it was that. All I remember
But
was that.
you weren't able to catch my performance, but you went to the place and we just hung out. And
Yeah,
it turns out that you and my new husband, my new husband, found out that you both like metal. You both metalheads.
for sure. And yeah, aside from that, what I remembered us talking about is like the difference in like the mind, the Western mindset versus here the Eastern Filipino mindset. Like big, I remember that fondly. It made an impression on me because yeah, something just clicked, you know. It's like the winter mindset, like winter's coming.
Hello.
Yeah, i'm I'm here. Check, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you still hear me? Yeah. So yeah, I was talking about like, yeah, what we talked about, like remembering that fateful night. And after that, boom, that I forgot what year was that anyway.
He was 2018. Definitely 2018 because we
Wow.
didn't have Louise yet.
Wow. two
July.
years ago Can't believe it. Yeah, 2 years ago. So
Remy said
what?
it's 21st. But like the normal French Fête de la Musique is June 21st. But we usually celebrate it for like a whole week, don't
Mm-hmm.
we? So just probably like somewhere in between that week. Yeah, but it's 2018, definitely 2018, because it was definitely before we had Louise.
What changed since
A lot
you
of
know you say
things.
you became pregnant, and then you had a kid, and now you're a wife, and now you're married, and I understand there's like a lot of changes involved in the lifestyle, the mindset. How is it for you, the whole thing? Because for us into the creative stuff, like making shit like music or videos or writing, because it takes a lot of time, right? Because you have to
Yeah.
think, and you have to um plan it, and revisions, and before you end up with the material, with the finished material that you can um publish and get the world to see. How did it go for you? I'm curious because
I
because before, yeah, you got like a lot of gigs. You're busking, and you're going places here and there. Your Facebook, you're getting deals with GMA. All that. What for the benefit of the listeners? whoever's listening. Anyway, 5 of them on my
Well, to start
podcast.
with, with jeez, well, with the GMA stint, I don't know really because it was a very dark time for me, to be honest. Being in GMA, it's like I was doing it for someone else and not for myself. It was very different from when I was playing music and when I was performing when I lived in Australia. It was more like I feel like I always have to prove something to someone. And the pressure of trying to earn from it. And it doesn't always weigh the same. Like playing music just for myself is very different from playing music to earn money or to do the arts to earn money. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I get. I get you. I get you. But you
And
were. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Story. It's your story. Come on, I'm listening.
I was just saying that I was actually thinking about this in the shower the other day, like how different it was to play to enjoy myself and the kind of songs that I was writing because it was just an expression of myself rather than writing a song so people would like it.
But you were in a competition, right? Tawag ng tanghalan ba yun?
Yeah, but
How?
joining that competition was actually fueled by my parents wanting me to be an artista, to be a celebrity, to be famous. And not because it was something that I really wanted in my life.
How did that? I mean, I don't want you to like. Just tell me if you don't want to relive the nightmare, because it sounds like it's not a
It's
too
okay. I'm
pleasant
quite over it. I'm mature
experience.
enough to just, talk about this and let it pass.
Yeah. So you joined the competition
Yeah.
and you made it through
Yeah.
and you got a deal. How and then you're not, you're miserable and you're not fulfilled by it, because some um a lot, not really just some. It's like a lot of kids or aspiring people, young and old, with talent, like exceptional talent like yours, you know would would, I don't know, would pay an arm and a leg to get to your, in your position. But you were saying
I don't
that
know.
it was your parents, I guess. Yeah, it's because I guess it's part of being young, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's part of being
And
young.
and
And
get this. I was growing up, I was always told that I wasn't gonna I wasn't gonna be a celebrity because I was dark, because I was morena. And
okay,
that
yeah, you change your hair. It was weird as shit. Sorry, I gotta say
I had dreads, right? So that was really fun, to be honest. Having my dreads was really fun. And yeah,
No, no, not the dreads. I mean, post dreads. When you were like, with that GMA vid got released, like, what? What the shit? It was like, I'm just saying it now, but like back then, I was shocked. Like,
that I
really?
cut my hair
Yeah, you
from the
changed it into like, what's this? What's this vanilla thing? This is not you. I was like,
well, I
yeah.
was told I was told that I'm gonna land more projects if I cut my hair. So also a part of me was thinking that, well, I'm already in this situation, I'm already in this business, so, well, they're supposed to be the experts um, in this industry, so I should listen more to them. And then all the time I was told that I should trust them.
Who's telling you to trust them? Like, do you have a manager or
I don't
somebody?
want names. I don't want to pinpoint anyone, but
Okay.
let's just say that generally I was being told to trust them.
Mm-hmm. Because
So I did.
they know what sells and
Yeah,
that
pretty
shit.
much. Yeah, exactly. And then, yeah, so I gave it a lot of thought. And then, yeah, because since I was already there and they said that I should trust them, and they said that if I cut my hair and go back to my normal hair, I'm going to land more projects, then okay. I was like, right, it's just hair. I can grow it again in the future. And maybe, I kept my dreads. I still have my dreads up to this point. It's just sitting in my closet. So anytime that I want to go back to having dreads, I can just have dreads. Still, it was quite a painful situation that the first time that I felt my first dread was cut, I just burst into tears.
Yeah, that must be quite, fracturing. I can't think of a better term, but it's like your personality will got split because
Yeah.
especially like if you got dreads and there's it may look like it's just a hairstyle, but for for it's like a essentially a tattoo. There's a story behind your
Yeah.
dreads, right? And
And I had it for 3 years, 8 months, and 2 days.
whew,
Exactly.
wow, must be hard. And what did you get? Did you land more projects? What happened? Let's like I guess reminisce and shit. But just tell me if you don't want to again, because
It's all
it
right.
might be a
It's all right.
shitty. It might,
I
like
mean,
you
what
said,
has been
not.
written in history is there. I cannot unwrite things. So.
It's on YouTube too.
Huh?
It's on YouTube. It's on the internet. It's there forever.
Yeah, exactly. It's on my Facebook. Actually, every August, because I had my hair cut in August. Actually, it's been a few days already since that, a lot of, in on Instagram and on Facebook saying that see your post from 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the month of August, it's just me cutting my dreads off. It was
Damn.
just that month.
Oh,
So
happy
it's
anniversary, I
quite
guess.
timely that you brought it up.
Wow. There's a synchronicity. Uh, so yeah. So other projects, like what happened then? Because I thought you were really like going all in, but from from my perspective, I mean, like just me looking outside from looking from the outside, you didn't continue being with JMA. What is it hard? Was it hard? Was it like does it cost a lot, like in terms of your self principles, like you gotta swallow some shit, stuff like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I remember going to a workshop. I forgot what was the point of the workshop, but we were supposed to um, sing something and pretend that we were in front of a big audience, like doing a performance on stage. And the workshop moderator was a director, a theater director. I forgot his name. I don't even want to remember, but I have his face in my head. And what he reminds me of is that bald guy in Pan's Labyrinth with the eye on his hands.
Yeah.
That's what he reminds me of. But anyway, so that guy actually told me that you're never going to be famous because of my song choices.
What do you sing? What were your song choices?
Because I was singing, I picked, I think, 3 songs. I picked an Adele song. Uh, uh, what was that song? Not, oh my God, I can't remember, but it was a Tagalog song. It was a pretty old song. But yeah, I'm quite an old soul, so I go for like really old, memorable songs. But he said that I'm not gonna be famous because of those songs. And the other kids from the workshop were choosing, danceable songs, like even if they don't really sing well, as long as they're gonna bust out some moves or work the crowd, then all good. And that really mocked me. That scarred me for life, telling me that you're never gonna be famous.
No, because I think he's thinking that you're there because you want to be famous, I guess. Like, that's harsh. That's fucking. This is fucking hardcore
See
and
what the
shit.
industry is?
Yeah, but it's not really. Uh, I don't know.
I think it was one of the
So it's like
main points.
fame. That's the
Yeah, pretty
there's
much. You really do to gain people's attention. To Yeah, well, yeah, it is what it is. That is the business. And that I think was one of the main turning points for me, that I realized that life was not for me.
yeah. So this sounds like pretty boring and dull path to take. I mean, So
I mean, oh,
what kind of what kind of like program was that? Is that like being a full package entertainer? Were there acting lessons, dancing lessons?
yes, yes. I even had to go through Tagalog lessons because when I came back to the Philippines, I couldn't even pronounce Tagalog words or like speak in Tagalog properly.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I was speaking Tagalog, an Australian accent, and that was a big no in the industry. You have to be able to deliver lines in Tagalog straight.
Sorry, excuse me. Like in terms of like a scene, an acting scene, like that. Do you mean by that?
Yeah,
Because
because
if magta-Tagalog ka, you can't speak like probinsyana Tagalog and straight
yes.
Tagalog, and then
Although
that's
I,
a no and shit. But when it comes to like foreigners and foreign blood, and they all like monoc.
yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, that's
Every
weird
time
shit.
they see someone who's happy or like someone who's so conyo, they market it like like who they who, who they were. So I was quite torn, to be honest. Like, I feel like I was being turned into someone really basic, someone who fits like category A, long hair, category B, wavy hair, category C, white skin.
What? There's shit
I was,
like
I was
that.
being turned into someone who fits the standard of being an artista,
Shit.
and not for what I was. Like, I wasn't being marketed for what I was. Like, the ukulele girl who loves the outdoors and who writes her own music. It was.
Yeah, I don't need that shit. I mean, like, yeah,
Although I
I didn't
love the
know that it was like that. You're that deep in the you went that deep into the the framework, quote unquote, like the framework of the
Yeah.
mainstream entertainment industry. Like that's the shit, but that's brutal. That's brutal. I mean, the, if like if for someone like who doesn't really have um I guess that thing that the that black swan quality, like because what they want is, like, now that you're telling me all this, what they want is like someone
Yeah.
so relatable that it's like um yeah, it's a business of attention essentially. Like attention,
Yeah.
if you can't catch attention, then you're not gonna be famous. But little did they know that you don't really want to be famous. You just want to make, you just want to
I
make
just wanted to
music.
make my
Yeah,
music
you just want to do
done.
your own shit. Yeah, you
Yeah.
just want to do your own shit. So yeah, fuck that.
So they
This
found me
is
as a singer, but I could literally count in my two hands how many times they made me sing in my 2 years with them.
shit. So like the gigs stopped coming in, and no one's calling you to make appearances because the competition.
Well, having gigs was very difficult as well because like when I got back, I didn't know anyone from the music industry. I didn't know anyone to begin with because I built my life in Australia. I had my music scene going on there and then coming back home. I felt like I started from zero as well.
hmm
So all my contacts were pretty much coming from them.
and
Like my,
they're the ones who are gonna book you to like.
yeah.
So what kind of gigs did they offer you? Did you get offers or anything of that sort?
What kind of
Wall
gigs?
shows, fiestas, you know,
I've done Aliwan Festival. That was pretty much the funnest one that I've done, I guess.
all expense paid and shit.
Yes. Not exactly. It's not really an all expense paid thing in this kind of industry.
This sucks. They were supposed to be your
Yeah.
sponsors, right? Like, hey,
No,
sing at
no, no,
this
no. It's not
festival.
like
We're gonna pay you to sing in this festival, and then we're gonna get you your hotel and food and all the shit. Are you now? You're telling me that even though you made it to the top of the like whatever season that is, and you're still when they invite you to a gig, they're not gonna cover your hotels and food and drinks and all of that. Is that what you're saying?
well, they covered like they dressed me up, they had my makeup done, they had the hotel for me, but I still have to pay for a cab going there and shit like that. It's but yeah, but that was just one gig. But most of the time, it was really mostly us bringing our own makeup and our own clothes, unless our handler works hard to get us like an approval to have like our clothes done and our makeup done.
Oh,
I
that's
had a really nice handler to begin with, though. She was very nice. I have no complaints about her. She's very lovely. I think it's just that the industry as a whole. I think as well that if you were someone who doesn't have an identity yet, it could be a good place because I mean, you can be open and let them mold you into someone that would be sellable.
mm,
But in my case, I think I created my persona, I created my identity already when I was in Australia, and then coming home and then being asked to deviate from that identity. I think that was what gave me the struggle.
How long did you like? How long did you keep it up?
2 years.
Damn. How many projects? Like no projects, 2 years. Just like how did that go?
It was very, there was, you'll never know. You'll never know. Sometimes I would have 3 months and I have nothing. And then there's 1 month that I'm full of stuff. Like I have three tapings in a month.
Were you still?
And
Were you?
very hard, yeah.
But were you still working with Ocean Park while this shit is going down?
No, I didn't think that it would have been a good idea to be working with Ocean Park and doing this, because I lived in Manila area, Luneta, and then I would have to go to Quezon City for workshops 3 times a week. And I don't think it was something that MOP would be happy about, because my position there, I was taking care of life. I was taking care of fish. I was taking care of the sea turtle and sharks. So it's not something that I can just do sporadically. And the thing is, when in the show business, in the industry, sometimes they just call you the day before that, oh, you have a taping tomorrow at call time at 8 a.m. See, and I wouldn't have enough time to, look for someone to take over my job.
Oh, and you were hating all of this, like if you don't have gigs and you're just staying at home and just waiting and waiting for that
Yeah,
phone
there was a lot of
call.
waiting, but there was also a lot of time for myself. There was a lot of time to create. There was a lot of time to write my own music as well, aside from the music that I'm wherein I'm trying to please listeners. During that time, I was able to create like a small project with a friend of mine from Iloilo, and we just did the kind of music that we wanted to do without even thinking of, oh, we're going to earn a lot of money from releasing these stuff. And a lot of people are going to listen to this stuff because it was pop, because it was relatable.
Was that the Analema project?
Yes, it was Analema.
That was the best shit, because it's just pure expression.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah, that will make you forget like that all that shitty workshops.
Although I do appreciate that JMA was able to play one of Analema's songs in a playlist. So it was I guess a consolation for me that I was able to play a song like that in such a platform. But still, it wasn't a theme song of a teleserie or a very emotional cut myself to death kind of thing because you don't love me song.
So when was the point that you got that self conversation, like it's time to quit? It's like fuck this is not for me. I'm living this shit. And
as I told you, it was very, very dark time for me as well, because a part of me wants to keep doing it. A part of me wants to create my own music and my own shit. But a part of me also wants to earn money, aside from the fact that my family was nagging me to earn money on my own. right? Because when I was working for GMA, when I was under GMA, I couldn't pay for my house. I couldn't pay for where I was living. So I was still depending on my parents, and I didn't want to do that anymore. So that's when I decided to practice what I studied for and get into um, the corporate side of the world.
Is this like the um I remember us having a conversation, like you get some water samples, the like marine biology thing.
Yes,
Like you go
yes,
to the province every so and so, and then yeah.
yeah.
Also, this was the time that like we were doing the our radio.
Rumble Radio.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
time, and so you're getting like some scheduling issues, and yeah, oh shit,
yeah.
it must be so hard for you, like during those times, because you're at the province, and I didn't know, like I didn't know you were
Sometimes
struggling to
I would
pay your
arrive
rent.
from the
Shit.
province and go straight to the studio.
Shit, I didn't know you weren't making your rent. Oh fuck.
Yeah,
Shit.
when I was in under GMA, I couldn't make my rent
Fuck.
really.
Shit.
So I depended a lot from my parents, and yeah, I really didn't want to do that anymore. So I decided to look for a job, and then I was very lucky enough to find a new job. And yeah, that was when I just finished my contract with GMA, and that was it.
All right. So, after that contract, you're out of the business, the entertainment. I guess it's not really quote unquote artistry so much. So, like more
Nah,
like entertainment. So
yeah, it is.
you still do that, the marine biology thing till now, or you do other
Of
stuff.
course, of
That's
course.
what
I still do it.
that's what pays the
It's
bills,
just
eh?
that it's really bad at the moment because of the quarantine and all that shit, and we can't go on field. And a lot of like 60% of our work comes from the field.
Yeah. So how does it work? Are you out of a job now, or what? Oh shit.
No. I'm still working. I'm still
Good.
working. No worries about
Good to
that.
know. Shit.
Yeah,
Quarantine, no job.
I'm
Fuck.
one of those lucky ones.
That's not a good thing. And with a kid, oh no. That's yeah. I guess we're lucky to have our income coming in
Yeah.
still. You
See,
know,
if I was with Jimmy and this thing happened, I would have died. I mean, metaphorically,
literally.
not literally.
She won't be able to pay rent
Yeah.
and get your food.
And the thing is, like, see, when I was depending on my parents for that time, and if that was to have happened now, and I'm depending still on my parents, and my parents' business was also impacted from this quarantine thing. Um, they're in the catering business, and there are no events at the moment. So what would have they given me? Nothing, right? So I guess it was struck of luck as well that I didn't like that industry and I didn't like being there, and I decided to pursue something else, and look at where we are. We're all right.
Yeah, still paying rent and bills, and yeah,
Yes. I mean,
I guess yeah, we're still a bit lucky, and luckier than most. Yeah.
yeah,
There's this
luckier than most,
this
definitely.
this guy this guy said that when things get chaotic, when chaos is like in the air, along those lines, gratitude is the antidote. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, To be honest, I don't hate hate GMA. I don't. I really don't. I mean, they're part of what I am now. I'm still grateful for the experiences that they've given me and all that. I learned a lot of things. I learned a lot of things about the industry. I learned a lot of things about myself as well. I got to know myself a lot in the process and my time being there with them. So, I mean, it's all right. Past is past. It's just that it's just that it wasn't for me. It's not my cup of
Yeah.
tea.
So
Yeah.
moving forward to GMA, now you got your own um, corporate, kind of stably job with being, but
Yeah.
it's one of the coolest jobs ever. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like maybe it's like normal for you, but fuck marine biology, it's like kind of niche. Like it's who marine biologist like how many marine biologists are there in the Philippines? Like you're like it's one of the um it's mysterious even like you deal with
Hey,
the oceans
actually,
and shit.
Priya, actually, this is another part of my reason why I also joined the competition. Yeah, aside from the fact that, my parents wanted me to be famous and all that shit. But I was like, maybe I could also use this platform to let people know, to let Filipino kids know that there's such a thing called marine biology. And, there's actually a life in science. And scientists are very important in life in general, in this world. So, yeah, and I don't know if it was because of that, but I mean, I'm not like in a hero kind of thing. I don't know how do you even explain. I know it's not me that's the only cause of this, but a lot of a lot of kids now are taking up marine biology. A lot of them are taking biosciences in general, and that's actually great to know.
Wow. Um. So with your marine biology thing, coming in like uh how like okay so after GMA, marine biology life, kind of, you still play, right? You still, you got that
Yeah, I
busking,
still
you got like online busking thing going on. Are you keeping that up?
not all the time. I mean, I don't go out and actively look for gigs. Like I don't ask around to, hey, you wanna take me in for a gig or so or what not. I don't do that. It's just that it's not my priority anymore as well. Like have being a mom definitely not a priority, right? Like you being a dad. So it's just that when people ask me to play, people who already knew me from before, and then they think of me and then they drop me a message and, hey, can you play? I'd say yes.
So it's mom first now. That's the
Yeah,
that's
mom
that's
first.
the identity.
Yeah, being a mom first before anything else.
Mom first. Yeah, because actually there's this uh what you call this this may sound so meta, but this the so one of the reasons why um I started this project, this podcast channel, is because it's kind of part of my sanity kit. Like this is one of the avenues that I can at least express through, like, it's not like through music, which is like sort of indirect, and it's more of um metaphorical sending of messages through melodies and layers of harmony and all of that. But I can't do it now because it takes too much. It takes
Yeah, it takes too much
it
time.
takes too much
And
time to like make a good melody, right? Make a good hook that really captures,
yeah,
really hits. Even
the other day, actually, I was telling Remy that I miss having, just my music stuff already set up, like just there on the desk, on the table, everything hooked up. And when I'm ready and when I think of something, I just sit and just go play. But now it's like, I have something in my head. I have to make sure Louise is not going to bother me, look for a spot, and then have my guitar set up and my looper and shit like that. And then after, I have to pack everything. And it's so troublesome with all the cables and all that shit. So a big part of me is like, man, maybe next time, maybe, nah. So
yeah, it's a challenge, but it gets easier because when here's what I realized. Um, not sounding, I'm not trying to sound like I'm giving you advice and shit. I'm just trying to express um
but hey,
yeah,
advice wouldn't hurt.
yeah, it whatever, for what it's worth, it kind of gets easier because the kid gets more independent. Like well, earlier while I was setting up for this shit, it's like I told the kid that, hey, daddy time. And I'm actually locked in a room right now. Can't you? I don't know if you can hear it. It's kind of quiet. I'm in his room. Right, I'm in his room right
Yeah.
now.
I actually went into the room as well. I think Remy understood that I had a little something as well. And then, yeah, he just went in to ask me if he could eat ahead of me. So I was like,
uh,
yeah, okay, go. And then he left me alone again.
uh,
So that's very sweet of him.
so considerate of him. Cool. But
Yeah,
yeah, it kind of gets a bit easier when the kid grows up, of course, because he kind of gets, he can entertain himself, like
yeah.
reading and drawing and all of that shit. I I gotta freaking admit, I made a bit of a mistake by exposing the kid to digital stuff. That's, you got to be
Mm-hmm.
careful, I guess. Got to be careful of that because like some digital content, they can just absorb, like YouTube and shit. I know
Yeah.
it's supposed to be like educational and shit, but if they're just absorbing and absorbing and absorbing, and for us, like, hey, there's this one point that I realized, hey, he came from me, and from what I know myself, kind of have this addictive tendency. I kind of have this addictive tendency to things that I really find interesting. And
Mm.
yeah, so if there's really lots of colors and audio and all of that shit, so it kind of like, if they're just consume and consume and consume and consume and consume, but the kid doesn't create, it turns bad. It's not a good thing. That's what I noticed. So you know like right now,
So
I got him to detox. Like, it sounds freaking weird and shit, like detox. It's like, really, what that's what addicts do, right? There was like
yeah,
detox centers
yeah.
for those.
Putting your kid on rehab.
Yeah, it's like self rehab. But yeah, what I did was, like, really, this kid needs to go analog. I think you
Mm.
went into the analog world. You were in the world where we lived in the world without internet, right? We know how it is.
Yeah,
And these
definitely. I was playing with Barbies
yeah. So
and Bella.
and these kids right now, if I think about them, because yeah, I'm a dad, and I think about, like, because I got a boy, and it's like, it's a huge challenge, because when he gets out in the real world, like being here, well, in my experience, because when you're a guy, you get out of the house, nobody gives a fuck about you. Like, yeah, I mean, that's the reality of it. It's like this how hardcore it is. Like, nobody will give a fuck
Yeah,
about you if you're a guy. Seriously, no one's gonna look at you. Nobody's gonna, like, pay attention to you, especially now in the age of cell phones and shit like that.
yeah,
Way back, we don't have cell phones. You're lucky if you're maybe a guy and someone notices you in, like, in the bus or in the train or in a jeepney or some shit like that. Yeah. But right now, in the age of the fucking cell phones and shit like that,
and so many face filters as well.
yeah, that too.
You just change how you look anytime before you have to hire like a graphic designer and someone who knows Photoshop to fix your face and then post it on what Friendster or Multiply.
Mm. Yeah, that too. That all adds to, like, the pressure, call it that, of raising a boy. And I can't get an gadget addict boy to, like, get out in the world and have his gut. Like, I don't want him to lose that, like, that gut. I want him to
Yeah,
be gutsy. Like, he
yeah,
has this, skill to, like, calculate, not really calculate, but trust his gut, that gut feeling that I can do this shit. Like,
yeah.
yeah, because I think now,
Confidence in general.
yeah, you might call it that. but
Um,
but yeah, that's missing. That's what's missing right now. Like, everyone just, I don't know, I sound old and shit, but that's what I notice. Like, kind of guilty about it sometimes, pre-COVID, pre-pandemic, pre-pandemic era. Like, you don't really, like, you just pay attention to your phone and your social, and just fiddling with your phone and shit, because it's more fun. Like, when you gotta look around, right? But
when Remy and I had Louise, and then we were actually thinking that we weren't gonna expose her to screens until she was like 3 or 6. But coming come yeah, this pandemic shit happened, and we didn't have a helper in the house, and I have to work, and we did not have a choice but to let her have Netflix and YouTube so she doesn't bother me during my meetings. And we're kind of we're not kind of, we're very guilty about exposing her to this early, but it was kind of a necessity for us to be able to work as well. But we can already see that when she's watching something, she's just so focused, and even when we're talking to her, we try to talk to her, she doesn't give a damn. So yeah, we're kind of scared that she might get addicted as well. But yeah, I think well, she doesn't have access to our phones as well anyway, so she's just watching on the laptop, and then once we say no, once we say that that you touch the keyboards or you're not sitting far away enough, then that's enough. We just close the laptop and that's it. And I think she's also kind of learning her limits in the process.
I think what you're doing, I think what personally, you're on the right track. Wait, I we've reached this point because this Anchor app has like an hour long limit, but I can record again. I'm gonna send another link. I'm just
Three or
gonna cut
four
this to the
minutes.
recording because yeah, I like to talk about this. This is really like an issue with like new parents like us. I mean, like I have this 7 year old and you got your 2 year old, but basically we're just
Yeah.
raising toddlers, and I think this is a good opportunity to talk about it because I don't know if you really want to talk about it, just want to talk about it, but
I do actually. Maybe next time we can have Remy as well in this call because I think he's got a lot to say as well.
well,
But
are you
oh,
gonna
what?
have do you have to do anything? But because yeah,
Yes,
we can
actually,
end it at
because
this
Remy
point.
starts because Remy already started his shift and he actually called for help already just now.
All right. Well, yeah.
And
This was fun. Yeah. I guess yeah. We have to do another episode where we talk about yeah the screens, raising kids in this freaking
this pandemic,
generation alpha, because they were called like the kids right now like 10, 20 in their mid 20s are like the generation Z, and the next ones like
yeah.
our kids are the generation alpha, like supposed to be.
Oh, really? That's what they call
Yep.
him?
I was doing research and shit. I mean, I'm deep into this.
Wow, you're
Yeah,
really a dad.
I'm deep into this fatherhood shit, and I got some interesting shit to talk about, and I'm just glad that I get to talk about this with you.
Wow,
But
that's
yeah,
great. I'd like to
we're
hear about those things next time.
we're gonna have we're reaching our limit. So anything you want to promote before we end this episode, like your
No, just
projects,
love and take care of yourself, guys.
any projects, your Facebook page, Instagram, whatever, albums, all of that shit.
No albums, but Instagram, yes, do follow me at Kai Atienza, no space, and with a K. Yeah, that's neat.
All right. Kai, bitin ako. Actually, I want
Yes,
to talk some
kuya.
more, but of course, I
I
understand
know.
if
Me too. And we could have, had beer over this thing or something or wine or whatnot.
yeah. But yeah, see you next time. Let's just keep on chatting on IG and take care of the kid, Louise. Yeah, regards to Louise, Remy. Yeah, this is the end of the
All
episode. Bye,
right.
guys.
Yeah.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.
Bye. See you next time. Cheers.